Hello there, welcome back. This is my first new video of the year of 2019. Unless you count the two videos I did over the holidays, which was Sweet Street Anxiety 8-minute version or Sweet Street Anxiety 38-minute version. And they came out in two different formats. You got the 2D format and the 360 format for both films. That was a nice little experiment. I hope you enjoyed it if you saw it. This is a experimental video because I have a new camera. I'm trying to see what it looks like in natural light. So I'm doing this natural light with no lighting, no nothing, just natural light. It's a 4K video, so hopefully it'll be interesting. So I'm experimenting. So I'll be doing like these videos, which is my Steelbook collection, and then next will be my box set collection, which I'll be doing with actual lights. I'm trying different things out. So I'm using the collection videos to try and work that stuff out. But I hope you enjoy them. I mean, this is going to be a pretty short video. I don't have that many steelbooks. I'm not really into steelbooks. I only get every so often when I like something nice about it. I like, you know. But it's rare that I buy them. And on a couple of occasions, I like the steelbook more than I like the film. So, but it's a very short collection. So, I hope you enjoy it. So the first one, these are two box sets. First one is Band of Brothers. This is a nice little, I just bought this in a shop once and they're cheap. So I wasn't really kind of about a steelbook. It was just, I wanted the Blu-ray. But you get this nice box. It's nice. And you get massive selection of foldouts. I mean, Band of Brothers is a fun show. It's meant to be a serious show because it's all about World War II and there's not nice moments in there. But I don't think it lives up to the hype of how great it was meant to be. Like, when it came out it was meant to be the greatest show ever. And it never was. It was always like, it was really good when it started Damien Lewis, the main part, and it was whenever he was on, it was a show focused on him, it was always good. But there was other supporting characters that weren't quite as interesting. So I never viewed it as one of the greatest shows. It's not like The Wire or Battlestar Galactica or Deadwood, that level. It's a well-made war TV show. It's very realistic, but you've still got a lot of dramatic cliches of a war story in there. So it's good, but I've only watched it once. I have no real desire to watch it again anytime soon. I mean, that may change, but it's not like the major event or anything. The other one is the Pacific. Pacific is another steelbook, another series. It's the same setup. You get the tin, and you get this collector's box. This was not viewed as well as the Band of Brothers, critically. But I liked it better actually. I mean, I like the Pacific War's underrated as a, it's not underrated as a war, it's underrepresented compared to the European War. So it's always interesting to see films about this war because it was against the Japanese rather than Germans, which is a very different type of fighting because it's on these little islands throughout the Pacific. It's a much more brutal war in some ways because the Japanese would not give up and were fighting disease as well as the Japanese all the way through. You had to go onto these islands and take the islands. The Japanese would not let them go. So it's a very different kind of war. I mean, the European war was a big thrust throughout Europe. It was a big landscape and they could spread out and keep pushing. It was a difficult war, but there was always a direction where they were going. We're trying to get to Berlin through the winter, so it's scary and there's a lot of Germans trying to kill us, but there's a goal. Pacific, it was much harder war. I just thought the setup was more interesting because you'd seen less of these stories. I mean, the film itself is, each one's like an hour 10, and each story has some elements of old war movies you've seen. But it's more interesting. I just find that the fighting was more horrific. It was less predictable because there wasn't any stable target. It was like different targets each story. Okay, after the TV shows with some pretensions that they couldn't quite live up to, we're now going to the pure schlock, the utter schlock. So I have 3 Blu-rays that 2 of them are indefensible, but they're very pretty steelbook covers, and one of them looks indefensible, but it's actually a pretty damn good film. Yeah, the first one, you know, and that's the one I can defend the least, but I go by aesthetics of the actual steelbook cover, and it's in 3D, but it's G.I. Joe 2 Retaliation. All stars The Rock, and a cameo by Bruce Willis. Look at the nice back and very lovely front. In Defense was a film, so you get a 3D film. See, it's very nice, you know, pack. I got it really, really, really cheap on eBay. I mean, it's practically giving it away. They're trying to get rid of these things, and the cover looks so lovely. And it's just like, it's such a stupid film that it's actually kind of a pleasure to actually have a copy of it because it's that dumb a film. The only film dumber than this film is the first one, which is G.I. Joe, which is even dumber than this one, and which has a lots of actors embarrass themselves in. So this is a pure schlockerama. I have no real defence for this one. The next one in the pure schlockerama is The Last Witch Hunter, a Vin Diesel movie. I've got to admit, I'm a bit of a Vin Diesel fan. He makes schlock, he makes fun schlock. So this is a lovely cover and a lovely back. This film, this box, this is Steelbook, is so far above the actual quality of the film. The film is utter schlock. The film has very few redeeming features except the fact that it's knowingly schlocky. I mean, it knows what it is. And it's a Saturday night movie where you watch and go, and don't think about it too much. I mean, Vin Diesel's in it, Elijah Wood's in it, Michael Caine's in it, everyone's slubbing. And it's indefensible as a film because the plot doesn't go anywhere. It feels a lot like End of Days, the Arnold Schwarzenegger film from like the 2000s or the millennium. Feels a bit like that, and it's just as out of date, but this one's much more fun. It's way more enjoyable. I can't defend it, really can't defend it, but it's fun though, it's just a lot of fun. And Vin Diesel film, especially Vidic movies. Vidic movies I really like. And fast movies I quite enjoy as well. But, yeah, they're indefensible. That's a lovely steelbook. Again, I got it really cheap. I wouldn't spend much money in that film, but it was good to get in, you know, a steelbook. This one, Universal Soldier, Day of Reckoning. This is the one that looks terrible. Scott Adkins is in it, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren. This steelbook is actually kind of half broken. It's also in 3D, but despite this one's broken. I actually bought it not even though it was a steelbook. I just bought it on eBay or something like that. I just thought I was buying the Blu-ray, the 3D. This is a really cool direct-to-video film. It's just, it should be schlocky. I mean, the Universal Soldier, you know, the one before this with Van Damme and Lundgren, and this one, both directed by John Himes, are brilliant. They should not be brilliant because the Universal Soldier, the first one, is bloody awful. You know, and then when I heard they'd actually made some good sequels, I was quite shocked. It's like, really? I mean, it's like, the first one was pretty unwatchable. But no, these are good fun. These take the premise. They're still B movies. The one before this was a B movie set in Russia and Chernobyl, and there's lots of fist fights between all these like half men, half robots. These clones are beating hell at each other. In this one, it's like the Heart of Darkness, Apocalypse Now, with fist fights and lots of darkness and lots of false memories. So it's influenced by Blade Runner, Apocalypse Now. And it's not very narrative based. It's like there's a narrative, but it doesn't matter so much more about what the subtext is and the whole idea of the guy who Scott Adkins plays who's lost his memory and he's trying to work out who he was he a good guy, was he a bad guy. I won't say much about the plot, it's worth saying just for the imagery, and I mean, you could call it really pretentious because it's just a Universal Soldier movie, but it's really ambitious and it's really enjoyable. I've watched it a few times, it's really well done, and it's definitely worth a shot. The two John Hines Universal Soldier movies are, if you're looking for well done films based on schlocky premises, these are the best, because these are like wonderful. These are just great. Right. I mean, also Scott Adkins ones I've recommended, the Boyka movies and the Ninja movies. They're also good fun too. I mean, I like the Scott Adkins movies. They're very enjoyable. They're always low budget actioners. But you can't be watching Bresson movies all the time. You've got to go and watch some schlock. And his schlock is always good. Now we're into kind of the middle range ones. The kind of schlock that takes itself a bit more seriously and thinks it may actually be like a real film, but a lot of the time they're not. But I've still bought a few of them. Again, some of these I bought cheap and I have no defence for, but I still enjoy them. The first one is The Devil's Advocate. Again, it's a nice enough box. This is the most like pictures on the cover steelbook I've got. I mean, it's not, there's nothing really unique about it. Which is the same with the film. The film's nothing unique about it. It's based on a schlocky novel, which I read when I was a teenager. There's some decent acting in it. There's also some overacting. I mean, Al Pacino goes way over the top at the end, which is fun to watch. I mean, it's not a deep film in any possible way. I mean, this is the film Keanu Reeves made just before The Matrix. It's schlocky, but it's enjoyable because they're doing this melodrama about a guy losing his soul, and it's a genuine attempt to do a sort of schlocky melodrama. It thinks it's more highbrow than it actually is. It doesn't realise how ridiculous it is sometimes. But that's what's enjoyable about it, because it's like, it doesn't know how odd and awful it is sometimes. But it's also, there's some very good scenes in it. It's like there's, it goes back and forward to insane to well done to insane to well done, which just means I've watched it way too many times, because this is pure gold for what the hell am I watching and why have I seen it 7 or 8 times. Next is 2 different X-Men films. This one is X-Men Days of Future Past. It's a 3D version, so you get the strange cover here and the robot face cover. Looks very Terminator-ish. This was the again, here's a Sentinel image, and you get the 2D discs. This is a fun movie. I enjoyed this one. It's obviously it has got that Terminator premise of someone going back in time to stop something in the past from happening that affects the future. It's very derivative. It's well done. There's lots of good actors doing a good job. And James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence. Everyone's doing a good job. Hugh Jackman's back as Wolverine. I mean, there's no depth to it is the thing. It's like, it's a well done movie, but it's been done before. It's really enjoyable for what it is, but I don't think it's the best X-Men movie, but it's definitely not the worst. And there's lots in it I like, but it's one of those weird films. It's like, it's good. That's it. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. There's nice bits in it. It's one of the harder films to talk about because it's derivative and there's nothing distinctive visually about it. Everything is second hand. There's nothing unique about the characters. Everything's a bit second hand there too. There's nothing unique about the execution. There's no one unique sequence. But it's all done well, so you can enjoy it for what it is. It's just done well. It's all it ever was, all it ever will be. The next is the Wolverine. It's a Logan movie, but it's a Wolverine final movie. You get the noir, Logan Noir, and you get the normal colour version of it. Again, it's another one that it's overrated. It's a really kind of overrated movie because everyone thought it was so deep, even though the plot is very Superman 3. You know, where he faces up against that evil version of himself. This whole idea of he's dying and he's been poisoned by his own body and stuff like that. It's well done, but it's not brilliantly done. It's like, it is like a 50s western. Does that kind of feel like the plus and minus of a 50s western, which is a kind of mainstream one. It's not that the Anthony Man real psychological terrors and the landscape shows the inner landscape of the character. This is much more like a kind of mainstream 50s western where it's a little bit of psychology, but not that much. There's still some action. There's still some sentimentality. So for every bit of like bravery, there's about 3 moments of sentimentality. Even if they try and make it feel a bit more realistic, the sentimentality's still there, and it kind of. And the last third is kind of just action for the sake of action. There's like the resolution is pretty trite. But there's lots of nice stuff on the way there to the resolution. It's just that there's a certain point when he sees his clone version of himself and starts fighting it, and that takes over the second half of the movie. It just becomes, oh come on, this is dumb. And it just, for me, it kind of takes the film down a few pegs. The film was still never great in the first place. It was well done, but it's well done schlock. That's all it is. It's like, why do people try? It's the same with The Dark Knight. It was like, why do you try and treat schlock or a B movie as if it's a deep movie? It's not. There are films who take the pulpy premises, like the Tim Burton Batman movies, and do interesting things with them. But this is a mainstream interest, which means it's not that interesting. It's just trying to be respectable, and I'm hoping that'll give comic books respectability. So it's a kind of decent movie, but it's not a great movie. So I have it, but it's not a work of genius or anything. Next two, these are the last two of the kind of pulpy stuff, but these are the two I really like. Outside of Universal Soldier, these are my two favourites of the Steelbooks. One is the original Westworld movie. This is a lovely Steelbook. Again, it's a bit like the Devil's Advocate. It's a lot of faces and lots of images of people. There's nothing that artistic about the Steelbook. But it's a nice Steelbook because you see your brother's eye. It just looks a bit odd and there's a nice shine to it. And I think it's just a nice look. It's a nice Steelbook to have. It's like, it's one of those ones I could have bought the normal one, but I paid the extra money for the Steelbook because the Steelbook looks nice. And sometimes that's all you need. Is a Steelbook that looks nice. And the other one is Godzilla 3D. I love this Godzilla. I love Godzilla movies. This is a 2014 version that was directed by Gareth Evans, Gareth Edwards. There's Gareth Evans and Gareth Edwards. The guy did The Raid and the guy did Godzilla and Monsters. And I always get them confused, even though I know who they are distinctly. When you see them, they kind of look alike and the names are kind of like. The films are very different and it's always confusing. But this is very underrated. This is a enjoyable bit of, Godzilla smashing. The first half is a slow build up, which people complain about because it's like, when do you get to see Godzilla action? Godzilla action comes eventually. But it's a slow build up. It's not trying to blow its load in the first 10 minutes. It's like, you're not seeing things, you're seeing the reaction to things, you're seeing the humans react a lot of the time. Because you're seeing everything from the perspective of these massive monsters who are fighting around them. That's the attitude of the film, is the monsters are the force of, they're good or bad, they're just monsters, they're just basically animals. And they're fighting with the monsters that are bigger than the humans. The humans are these little ants compared to them. And they just have to deal with these massive monsters. That's it. That's the movie. That's what's wonderful about it. So you get all these sequences. Like the first sequence you see Godzilla appear, but you only see him partially as he goes on to Hawaii to do the first fight with one of the monsters, which is great because there's a build up, there's a massive build up there, and there's no delivery, but it's a promise that it's going to be good when he gets to it later. And it is. When they finally get to San Francisco and start trashing the place, and you're seeing all these fights from looking up at them and seeing these monsters beat the hell out of each other, but from the point of view of the people who are getting affected by it, it creates this atmosphere of dread, and this feels like what it would be like being in a world with all these massive monsters. That's what's really good about it. I mean, Aaron Taylor Johnson gets your brutalising reviews saying, oh, he's a bland lead. He's playing a repressed person. He's sort of like what happened with Eric Bana and Hulk. Hulk, where Eric Bana was playing a very repressed person, so they blame the actor because they don't like how the character's represented. If you're playing a repressed person, there's not much you can do about it. You have to portray the repression. So he's playing as a guy who's all dialed down because of a trauma in youth, because his mother got killed when he was a boy, and he's trying to be responsible to his family, and he's trying to get home because he has to go and collect his father and get home from Japan to San Francisco to get his family out as these monsters are coming. And it's all about his journey to get home. And it's really well done. The character is nice and underplayed, but he's always doing the right thing. It's a nice, quiet performance, but because it's not a loud look at me thing, it was criticised. They wanted something bigger. But in Godzilla movies, none of the characters tend to act. Any character who acts like big is usually an egomaniac who's going to get killed. The human characters tend to be quiet. And he did what he was told. So he get criticised for that. I love Godzilla 3D. 3D is really good in this film. It's one of those films that's worth seeing in 3D because the perspective of the monsters, it really delivers. It's a wonderful underrated film. I mean, it's really underrated. It's definitely worth a look. Okay, next we have some films by sort of well-known directors who are established. I've got some of the Steelbooks. The first one, I'll go with the comedy one. It's John Landis's Three Amigos. And that's a lovely Steelbook. You actually can feel it when you touch it. There's like bullet holes here. You touch it, it feels indented. This is from 101 Films. In the back you have some bullet holes as well. Inside you've got a poster and the disc, and it's hard to get the thing out to show you inside, and just a normal inside cover thing. I mean, you just get a poster for the Three Amigos film. There's not really any extras, but the transfer's nice. The film's really fun if you like this kind of silliness. I mean, it's about three actors from the silent era who get fired from the studio and who get a message from Mexico about these villagers who take the film seriously, who think they actually are these heroes of the silver screen. They don't realise they're these three useless actors. And they go to Mexico, they think they're putting on a show, and turns out they have to help the villagers defeat the villains. And what's nice about the film is it never stops portraying these guys as idiots. They only get slightly more intelligent about the situation. Slightly. I mean, very slightly. I mean, the stupidity helps the villagers find a way to defeat the villains. But the villagers do have most of the work. They just have an idea that helps them defeat the villains. But they're really stupid. And they remain really stupid. And all the jokes are about how silly they are. And it's all about the silliness of this old world and these naive actors who are egotistical and who are not very worldly, who just see the world in a certain way that's not realistic at all. I mean, I've tried doing these kind of movies recently, like something like The Incredible Buck Wonderstone or something, which never worked at all because there was too much cynicism and the silliness wasn't quite right. This one gets the silliness right because you can't take anything seriously. So the villains are caricatures, the villagers are caricatures, the Three Amigos are caricatures, everyone's a caricature. But it's nicely done. It's a lovely little film. I don't want to give away any of the jokes, because the jokes are nice. I mean, they're based on like that old era of the humour of that old era, so if you're not into that, you're not going to like the film. If you don't like the idea of these three, I mean, Chevy Chase plays a guy who's very stupid and very naive. Martin Short plays this little guy who's a former child star as well, who's now part of Three Amigos, and he's like very naive. And Steve Martin plays a guy who thinks he knows a lot more than he does. And they just play into the cliches of these kind of characteristics, and they just have a lot of fun with it. It's not the most funny movie you'll ever see, but it's nicely funny. It's nicely funny we can keep rewatching it because it's enjoyable to watch. The world's very enjoyable. The humour, the jokes are funny even on repeat, and all the details are very nice. It's just a lovely film to have and rewatch. It's just, nice. Which a lot of John Landis films make it like that, where they're not the greatest comedies, they're not the greatest, most original things, but there's a lovely atmosphere, lovely kind of... The way they're done has a kind of nice undertone to them. They're always just nice to watch. Okay, next is Neil Jordan's Company of Wolves. Company of Wolves is this is a nice steelbook. The cover's nice, and it's nice and shiny. The inside's very plain. You get the Blu-ray and the DVD. Company of Wolves is based on Angela Carter stories. It's all about werewolves. It's short stories. Everything intermingles to show this girl through puberty. She's dreaming of this world of wolves and men and the Little Red Riding Hood and the granny and things. It's a wonderful film. You have to really engage in the idea of this isn't reality. This is twisting stories you heard as a child and giving them a kind of teenage girl feel to them, and you have to kind of engage it in that level, and just have fun with it. The atmosphere's terrific. It plays around with stories you've seen before. It's serious, but it knows there's an absurdity to it at the same time. So there's a wonderful, delicious atmosphere, because it can be very sincere during certain sequences as she discovers the world of men and the world of lies and what the wolves are and how she's tied to the wolves and things. There's lots of wonderfully sincere moments that are very old-fashioned because they don't have a lick of cynicism in them. There's also some performances that are knowingly a bit over the top, but not too much. They're just right. Angela Lansbury's in it as a granny. Terence Stamp shows up as a devil. There's a lot of lovely moments, but also it plays into it's a little of stuff, but not too much. But it allows the sincere moments to really deliver. This is one of Neil Jordan's best movies. I really like Neil Jordan when he's doing fantastical stuff like this or Into the Vampire. I also like some of his other films as well, but I really like his fantastical movies because he's a director who can go for it without making it silly. He seems to know how far he can go before he's going to lose the audience. He knows he's doing something poetic. He's not doing something realistic. It's to hit the back of your brain that's not fully conscious, and that's where the emotion is. And it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful film. Okay, next up from Steelbook, more tourists, Deliverance, John Boorman. This is one of my favourite covers. This is the canoe going through the eye. That's just Boorman mixed with Buñuel. In the back you get the guy carrying the canoe, and the inside is just a picture. Just a bit a lot of Warner's Steelbook's just pictures inside. But the cover is lovely, and you get the normal Blu-ray in this, where you get the commentaries and the makings of and things. This is a lovely film. I'm probably going to do something on it properly, so I'm not going to say much about Deliverance, but Deliverance is a wonderful, dark movie before guys they go up the canoe trip. They get lost in the backwoods and some bad things happen to them, and they have to pull themselves together and get out of the situation. They start to find out darker things about their personalities, things they would not like to know. It's a wonderful film, that atmospheric, everything's tuned perfectly, it's widescreen, 2:35 ratio. John Boorman directs it perfectly. It's just like everything works in this film. It's one of those films where they cast the right people, the right script, the right director. Everyone seemed to collect what they needed to do in this film. So it's a beautiful film, wonderful. I'd recommend it highly. But you should know that if you know any of the films. It's hard to talk about if you're doing a brief 2-minute thing with this one because you really want into details and you really can't because it's a 2-minute thing. But definitely try and see that one. That's a wonderful film. Okay. Next in the Steelbooks is 2 Cronenbergs. The first one's that Hours release of Shivers in Steelbook. Now isn't that a wonderful image? Horrific but wonderful. And there's this one in the back. Also horrific but wonderful. Inside you get the booklet. Where you see a very Benwellian image. I'm just trying to get this stuff out. Isn't that a lovely image as well? The booklet's terrific. You get a lot of nice extras in the film. You get DVD and a Blu-ray. You get a making of. You get other little short documentaries on it. You get remastered transfer of the film itself, which is a wonderful. Cronenberg's first mainstream hit film. Well, it wasn't a mainstream hit. It was his first kind of film that was seen by people that weren't just art house people, and it was a hit. But it was reviled by the mainstream. But it was still it was still in cinemas to be hated by the mainstream. It's a wonderful film about an infection, a sexual infection that goes around, turns people into nymphomaniacs. It turns up something to the brain so that basically they start to see everything in a more sexualised manner, and there's no boundaries, none. So it's disturbing that way because it's not just a bit more sexualised; it's sexualised against anything that's alive. So he takes what could be a fantasy and takes it into the most extreme area. Plus the things that the creatures that do this to you look like turds that are moving around, and it goes into people's mouths and out people's mouths, and it's a very dark, disturbing movie. I mean, he doesn't care about people's sensitivities. He's just going to do this film and he's going to disturb you. I mean, some of the acting's pretty rough, but just the atmosphere and the continual ratchet up of horror. This film is wonderful. It's a great film. Very low budget, but it's definitely worth. It's one of those films you should see. If you like horror, you have to see Shivers. There's another Cronenberg film I've in Steelbook, is Naked Lunch. This is a Studio Canal release. It's another Cronenberg that I like a lot. Here's a little mugwump. Yep, Studio Canal released this one. There's no extras, just the film. Nice transfer of the film. I'm a big fan of Naked Lunch. I like Burroughs, the writer. It was based on his book Naked Lunch, but it's also based on the biography of Burroughs as well, because he's a very interesting life, which plays into this film. I mean, there's other versions of this film, like the DVD, where you get the Soundbank Show extras and the commentary and stuff. I've got them as well. This Steelbook's nice just for the transfer and the cover. The cover looks lovely. This is a wonderful film. It's hard for a lot of people to see because it deals with a gay author who's fantasizing his way through emotional time in his life. So he's interacting with creatures who might be in his head, might not be. He's learning to write about them. It's all the psychology of a writer and the psychology of this man in crisis. So it's very moving. There's lots of lovely emotional moments because Cronenberg can take something absurd like a mugwump, a special effects, and create some emotion behind it because he creates his characters. So you're watching a character rather than just a special effect. And he knows to tone it down, to have moments of viscera and excitement, but also moments of emotion so you can see what everything means to the main character. So there's lots of moments with Peter Weller, who plays the lead in this. He gets to be very emotional, very quiet, and a lot of those scenes really work. The ending's pretty devastating, and what the implications are at the ending for this guy who gets become more and more isolated and finds it harder and harder to deal with people, and you see him getting closed down slowly but surely throughout this film. It's a wonderful film. I mean, it's also the idea of someone having to write himself out of a crisis. Like, his only way to deal with his loneliness and his isolation his writing and reporting on what he sees. So it's a very dark movie about writing and what writing means to the author and what it means to other people. So it's a very underrated Cronenberg film. It's not the one they talk about with him. They always talk about the Videodrome of the Fly or something. Naked Lunch doesn't get a look in usually, which is a shame because it's a wonderful film. When I saw it when I was a student, and I took other friends to see it, and they told me I was weird. That's weird. Okay, finally the 4 Steelbooks, which are Masters of Cinemas. So these are the classy ones. But I don't have that many Steelbooks. I'm not really it's just it has to be a certain one that catches my attention, or it's cheap. I don't really buy that many because I'd rather have a good box set than a Steelbook. Paying like 25 quid for a Steelbook seems stupid to me. I will only buy it if it's affordable. So, first one's Cleopatra. Cecil B. DeMille's Cleopatra. There's not much in the back here. You get the Blu-ray, DVD, and a booklet. Oops. And I'm trying the booklet out and I'm somehow messing up something so simple. Yeah, it stars Claudette Colbert. I haven't actually watched this yet. There's a couple of extras on it. It's not like the most famous films. I got it because I was curious about it, I just haven't watched it yet. But because it's an old film, and Masters Cinema tend to put out, if there's an old film, they tend to put out the good ones. So I'm going to watch it, I just haven't got around to it yet. But it is a lovely little set, so it's definitely worth seeing, but that's how much I can see if I haven't seen it. Okay, next is Island of Lost Souls, which is an adaptation of Ellen Dr. Moreau. This is a lovely image in the front cover, isn't it? The back's kind of plain, but the front is great. Charles Lawton as Dr. Moreau. You get a nice little booklet. You get a few little documentaries in here. You get the Blu-ray and the DVD. It's a nice cover too. You get a nice little booklet, as I said. The film itself I like, but it's not my favourite of the, it's not my favourite of the black and white horror movies. I prefer Frankenstein movies from this period, and later on you developed Luton films, which were more to my taste than this one. This one's very start-stop for me. It's like, there's lots of good moments, but I'm not interested in the main characters. The only one I but I'm interested in is Dr. Moreau. The rest of the characters aren't that interesting. Bela Lugosi pops up and he's good and very eccentric, but there's not much to it for me, apart from the black and white photography and some of the ideas. But there's no emotional hook for me. There's nothing like in Frankenstein. You can always get hooked into the main character of Frankenstein, and the Val Lewton ones, you can always hook into the main character and their journey throughout this horror story. This one is a guy who's abandoned an island, and the guy's not interesting. The island is, but he's not. So whenever he's doing something against Moreau, it's interesting, but you're not really rooting for him because it's like, I just don't like the main character. I mean, there's a film called The Most Dangerous Game, which is very similar to this, but there's no like mad science stuff, which is about a guy with this crash where these people are trapped on an island and they get hunted down as animals. That's a much better film. It's a guy's big King Kong. That's better than this. This is more ideas, but that one's better made. It's almost like if we combined both those films, like having a lot in, and something like that, and had the ideas of this, it would have been a great film. But in between, you have one that's getting decent ideas, but great execution. This one is getting great ideas, but not so great execution. There's nice bits, but there's never been a good Moreau film. It's just, that's the best one there is, but it still doesn't quite do it because it's only Charles Lawton doing stuff. There's no one else living up to his style. Next is Cabinet Dr. Caligari. Also has a nice backing thing here. And again, you get a booklet, and this is 2 Blu-rays. You get Dr. Caligari, and you get a documentary from Caligari to Hitler, which is a nice documentary. You can also get that in the documentary Hitler's Hollywood as well. So you get a nice booklet and a nice cover here. This is like Island of Dr. Moreau, where, or not Dr. Moreau, Island of Lost Souls, where, and the film won't like it. It's really well done. The imagery is great. The ideas are pretty good. About a son-in-law guy who, obviously I can't pronounce how you say that. This guy who's like he's almost sleepwalking through his life, and who's been controlled by someone else who goes and does things for this guy who's controlling him. And this very weird landscape. And it's well done. There's some great imagery in it. But again, the story-wise, there's nothing that really hooks you in. I mean, there's other German films that tend are much better. Like any of the Fritz Lang movies are much better. The Murnau movies. There's so many better movies in this. This is like one of those movies that's a big success. It's a big influence. But as a film, it's not quite there. It's not. Doesn't quite deliver what you need from the. What I need anyway. Like I saw this as a student in a group of other students. We all saw it as part of our class. I think everyone came out with the same feeling of it was good, but it wasn't great. There's other films that are age better. This one is influential, but it doesn't quite have the. It's not something I'd watch. I mean, I'd much rather watch Nosferatu. Nosferatu is such a much easier, enjoyable watch. I'd much rather watch Faust or Dr. Mabuse or M. These are much more inventive films. The direction's more unique. The storytelling's better. Everything's better in those films. This one is. It's almost like they've got a good setup, but they never quite landed. I guess the direction just feels a bit impersonal. So no matter how well done the acting is and how even it's way over the top, it's they're trying. The actors are trying, but no matter how much they do, the direction seems a bit flat, and it doesn't move from image to image with the kind of confidence that the story seems to need to make it top level. It's top level and influence. It's just not top level as in execution. Okay, finally something that is top level in execution and influence. Touch of Evil. This is the last of the steelbooks I have. Dull back, but Wells is stick in the front. You get two discs, so you get the theatrical, the preview cut, and the restoration cut, and you get this booklet as well. This is an amazing film. This is just so well done. I'm obviously a massive Wells fan, so I'm obviously biased. But the restoration is terrific. The original cut's great, even though it was butchered by the studio, but you can still see the brilliance come through it. The restoration makes it feel tighter and leaner. Like, some of the points are made much clearer in the restoration because it's based on Wells and his notes, what he wanted done. And it does feel like a lot of those notes, the right idea of how to film, feel quicker and but also just clearer in what it was going to do. So you don't have any little bumps in the road that you have with the theatrical version, where you have to look beyond some of the problems with it to get the good stuff. This one, restoration, you get the pure thing, even though it's just Wells didn't finish it. There's some nice documentaries and commentaries in this as well. It's a really great package. I mean, if you can only get the normal version without the steelbook, it's definitely worth getting. But the steelbook is very, very nice. It's one of those ones where, yeah, I pay a lot more for the steelbook. Because it looks so pretty. Yeah, again, it's one of those films I'm going to do something on eventually. Like a proper video, so I don't want to go into it too much. It's always difficult to talk about those kind of films, but I want to go into that in more detail. Doing this as a list of other films I've got in steelbook, you can't really get into detail. So I hope you enjoyed this. I mean, again, this was just a start up for the new year. I'll be back with a box set video as well, and then I'll be getting back into reviews and things like that. It's just a slow start in the new year. I think some people just get that way. I mean, January's hard to get through. January you have to kind of force yourself to get motivated. And I've had that problem just like a lot of other people. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back soon with the box set video, and then we'll be back with normal videos.